Welcome to That's No Class. I'm Brian Berumen.
And I'm Morgan Darian.
Welcome back to the home of class, where we talk about the most interesting and funny things happening in the news and in our lives, try to figure out how to live classy, and call out no-class moves.
This week in news, Brian covers online shopping schemes. I find a small town in New Hampshire that is of interest. Double News is back, and Brian brings Morgan the headlines with Did You Hear? I share some consumer advice in my segment, Clear the Plates. And as always, we end with our no-class picks.
Just want to say at the top of the show, our listener Jessica missed the deadline for our favorite moments from the show, but for her buck, it's still our war over your nasty cottage cheese on pasta sauce and my meatball sub with mustard, which is great.
That was so nasty. Awesome.
All right, let's get to some news.
Now here's the news.
Okay, this story really hooked me because I'm a proud person, but also a person that is constantly doubting my own motives and my own intelligence. The headline of this article in the Wall Street Journal was, "You're probably falling for fake product reviews." Ahead of Cyber Monday, beware sellers who solicit glowing testimonials with cash and free stuff and fool even seasoned shoppers.
Man, I knew it.
You and I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon, and reviews are useful. We're always looking for that 5-star. But what if they're all BS?
I believe that.
Okay, so
I believe it.
Some professors did a research study, and they found that it's as simple as sellers putting up description of their products up on Facebook and telling people, hey, buy our product so it's a verified sale, give us 5 stars, we'll refund you all the costs, maybe even give you an extra $15 for your trouble. And that's it. Boom.
Boom.
5-star review just like that. They found as many as 1,500 products basically buying 5-star reviews from people. And they found that after a product did this, their average ratings jumped from an average 4.3 stars to 4.5 stars. And that little increase made a huge difference in how Amazon ranks them when someone searches for a product.
Yeah.
And Amazon is aware of the problem, says it blocked 200 million suspected fake reviews in 2022 alone.
That's wild.
That is a crazy number.
Someone offered this to me, like, in person.
Oh, okay.
They were like, I'm going to sell this product online. Can you please just buy it and I'll give you the money back? And I was like, absolutely not. I saw the pictures for your item and they look like trash.
What if it was a really, like, good
It was not.
item?
There's no way.
But what if it was?
Nah, there's no way.
It wasn't.
I was like, I can't do this.
Okay.
I cannot.
Well, there's always this point where I reach where I know that I've just decided that I want a product. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's based on the reviews being mostly positive, and I think to myself, what if these ones at the top are fake, though? Would it matter to me, and would it make me not buy this thing? My answer is honestly probably not. Like, I can feel my brain going over this threshold where it doesn't really matter to me anymore. And
you got to decide for yourself.
Yeah.
You can return it.
And I'm just willing to roll the dice and buy the thing.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Free returns.
But there are some tips in the article for avoiding fake reviews.
Okay.
Number 1, read a middle-of-the-road average review because it's more likely to be real. That's the only
That makes sense.
Because obviously these people aren't getting paid.
Sometimes you can kind of tell.
How? How do you
if they're
tell?
like, if they have too many details about the product, it's like
That's what it is?
they're like official details, though.
Oh, yeah.
And
Stuff that's like in the product description.
Why would I ever say that?
Why are you telling me the quality of the steel in this cutter?
Biodegradable. I don't care.
Potatoes.
What?
Yeah. I love that it's biodegradable.
Nah,
Yeah,
you
sus.
don't.
Super sus. Okay, number 2, apparently photos are a red flag and more likely to be on a fake review because, as the person in the article says, who posts a photo of some run-of-the-mill toaster or curling iron?
That is weird.
Why are you putting that up?
Man, the photos on Amazon are wild of people who like try on the clothes.
Oh,
they're always terrible. I'm like, this is not a good look for you. You have convinced me of the opposite.
They don't know.
I mean,
They don't know.
they've
how
convinced
they
me.
look.
I'm like, oh, this is not going to look good on me at all.
Doesn't look good on you.
Ain't
Probably
gonna
isn't
happen.
gonna look.
No.
But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this idea lately that we might have reached an age in human civilization that takes us right back to our most primitive days because there's a lot of talk about how there are so many so-called problems we don't have to deal with anymore, like having to go out and find our own food or walking to destinations. But I'm getting more convinced that the predators are everywhere and we're almost always fighting and trying to keep from getting scammed. And that is what takes all of our time and all of our effort, just trying to keep from getting our money taken. To me, I genuinely spend a big chunk of almost every week now just tracking my money, seeing if it's getting taken somewhere.
Yeah.
Reading like emails, like who is this? What is this? Is any of this real? And it's just a million mouths trying to take from me all the time.
So true. You're just like trying to protect your like berries and nuts.
Exactly. Just trying to like lay on top of them
Yeah,
and
like,
stop
who's
people from
trying to
taking
get
away
these?
from me. All right, Fred. Well, what do you got? What's your story?
Okay. First, I have a side news. Did you see that car-sized tumbleweed on one of California's 4-lane roads?
I heard about this.
It's the size of a car.
I heard about
it's
this.
It's humongous.
I mean, it's a
it's
bunch
not really
of
news, but it's in the news.
No, that's news.
I mean, that's
we would honestly lead a block with that.
It's so funny.
Look
to
at
me.
this tumbleweed.
Like, I mean, it's a tumbleweed.
It's probably
but it's ginormous.
A bunch of tumbleweeds that stuck
That's
together,
what I was
right?
gonna say.
Still
yeah,
counts. Still
it's
counts.
amazing though. It's very big.
It's cool.
Anyway, okay. My real news story is this.
All right.
A man named Jeffrey Holt lived in a small town in New Hampshire. He ran a mobile home park and given away his furniture and TV. And after he taught driver's ed for years, he sold his car and took to riding a bicycle. And when he didn't like that, he took to driving a lawnmower as his main mode of transportation.
Around town?
Yes. Residents would see him driving his mower into town to get groceries. And he would sometimes do odd jobs for folks, but he rarely left town and didn't have much family. His best friend and legislator said Holt liked to collect model trains, books about history, and records. And some of his favorite topics were Henry Ford and World War II. Okay, so he died earlier this year, and the town was in for a huge shock. He was a multi-millionaire, and he left all of his money to the 4,000 people in his town, telling them to use it for education, health, recreation, and culture. The town was blown away, and they're like deciding how to use it, but they're taking their time because they feel like they want to honor him by like using it really wisely.
See, I like that.
Isn't that amazing?
So this guy was secret multimillionaire.
Yeah. They
And-
said he would just like, his clothes were just like threadbare.
I mean,
He would
riding
just
around
use
a
them until
lawnmower.
he would use them,
Yeah, until he doesn't.
Didn't have anything else extra. He had investments.
Oh, okay.
But it was early
Okay.
on in what was it in? It was something really like, yeah, of course that would make a lot of money type situation.
Like
it was
Apple?
like, yeah, he got in early with something like really big.
He's Forrest
Can't
Gumped it.
remember. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was something huge.
Dang, that's really cool.
Isn't that wild?
Donated it. How do you donate it to a town?
I don't know. It's just in his will as like, for the residents of blah, 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 use it for this.
Interesting. That's really cool.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
I thought it was pretty
Cool.
wild.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. You guys might be expecting a Golden Bachelor recap right now, but we honestly haven't had time to catch up because Thanksgiving has been a wild time around here. So
Yeah.
we figure we'll do a final one when the finale happens, and then we'll wrap it all up. So that's coming, but it's not here now.
Next week.
But what we do have is some personal news.
Oh, yes.
And
What?
this is a big deal, I think, because it's kind of changed my entire view of our cat. So what
I
we've
knew you were
learned,
going to talk about this.
what we've learned is that our cat has developed an entirely different and distinct wild personality when she eats ham.
Yes.
And that's because Morgan feeds her ham, and I would never give her this. My policy is, as Morgan likes to tell people, a cat should not eat an animal larger than itself.
Yes.
So pigs, cows, cats can't eat
They're
that.
scavengers.
They're not. They're
Someone
hunters.
else killed it.
They're Yeah, maybe. But they're hunters primarily.
I know.
Not ours, though.
Well,
And
we
so
don't
she-
always have ham.
she gets
it was
this
a special
hunter-
occasion.
Yeah, exactly. When
wanna
you're around,
give
it's
her a
always a
little-
special occasion
little
for her.
treat.
She's always getting something. But she's developed this like fierce and wild like personality, like running around and like howling and stuff, like screaming for ham.
I think I reinvigorated her hunter like prowess.
Maybe you did. She was getting old and tired, and
Yeah.
now she's like,
I have livened her up.
you have. Well, it's crazy. Who knew this? Anybody else's cat do this? Have you ever given them ham and seen them go insane?
She really is going nuts.
It's really crazy. Okay. Well, when we come back, we've got some more wild news stories we found, and some you might have, but Morgan definitely hasn't. And then what a lot of us might be doing wrong at restaurants. So thanks so much for being here. We love having you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for more news in our segment we creatively call Double News.
Now here's the news!
Again! Stupid.
All right.
Okay.
So we tried something new last time we did Double News, and we're bringing it back because you guys know I work in the news, and it's always really funny to me when I bring up what I think are really big stories that I just assume everyone has heard, and Morgan has no idea what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read a list of stories that are some of the biggest stories of the last few weeks and see if Morgan has heard them, just the headlines.
Okay.
We call this, Did You Hear? So first.
You have to do it old timey.
How do I do it?
Did you hear?
Did you hear?
Okay, go.
Okay. First, did you hear the CEO of OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, was fired from the company?
No.
Did you hear that Microsoft then hired him a day later?
No way.
And did you hear then that so many people in the company threatened to leave OpenAI that OpenAI got rid of their board and then hired him back, and now he's the CEO of the company again?
What?
All of this happened within about 3 days.
That's amazing.
And it's
That's
actually
like out of a show.
It is. It's a wild, drama TV kind of situation.
Whoa.
It's very murky right now. And
That's a bit dramatic.
we're AI followers on this show. We've been following the AI developments, ChatGPT, since the beginning of the show. Remember, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
We were the first ones. Okay.
Breaking news.
Second, did you hear that there's a mysterious dog illness that's spreading across the
Yes.
country? You heard this?
I saw this.
Okay.
Multiple articles.
Yeah. No, it's big. People are terrified.
What is it?
Okay.
We still don't know?
So they sneeze and they cough and they have discharge from their eyes, and it can last for months. And then when the dogs get tested for known illnesses, like kennel cough is apparently a thing, they don't test positive for it. And very few dogs die, but they can get pneumonia because they're sick already, and that can be deadly. It's affected hundreds of dogs across a bunch of states. My mom is very worried and wants to keep her dog away from other dogs just in case. She's literally more worried about this than she was about COVID.
Amazing.
So
I feel like it's what Mala has.
I was thinking that.
She has literally all those symptoms.
4 months, she's had leaking eyes.
Yeah. And sneezes sometimes.
And sneezes. Don't know what that is. Is
It's just all the animals.
Maybe.
Maybe we put something in the air and they're like, we can't handle it.
Maybe they're sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's happening.
Well, if they're not dying,
They're not dying. They're just sick.
okay.
It's still not good.
No,
I
that's
mean,
not fun. I don't like it when animals are sick because they can't tell you anything.
Yeah.
They can't be like, I'm really uncomfortable. Can you give me a drug?
Sad. I'm glad you heard about that one, though.
I did.
How did you hear about that one?
Because, I have to look up news for this. It's
Oh,
the
so
only
that's when you
reason.
saw it?
Yeah.
And of all
How
the
else
stories,
would I
you were
see
like,
no
dog
news?
sickness.
I did. I saw it everywhere.
This one sticks in my head.
Okay.
Okay. Next. Did you hear that the Beatles released a new song?
No, that's stupid.
Yes, they did. It's
Someone
called
found it.
It's called Now and Then.
What are you talking about?
It's actually slightly more complicated. It's kind of like a Frankenstein song. So what happened was John Lennon was just singing on a recording, and there was TV on in the background. It sounded crappy, but it was him singing some song that he made up. They used, everyone's calling it AI, but it's really just a sophisticated software program to pull his voice out and clear out all background noise.
Okay.
And then Ringo and Paul McCartney made up their own music to go along with it. And then,
for the instrumentals?
Yeah. And then George Harrison, they had some music that he had recorded that was just instrumental, and they mashed it all together, and they're like, hey, it's a Beatles song.
Interesting.
So
I guess it is.
that's the thing. Yeah. I mean,
all right.
it is the Beatles players.
Yeah.
That's what I would call that.
Interesting. Okay. I like it.
And then lastly, did you hear that a new drug like Ozempic and Wegovy got approved by the FDA and will be sold soon, specifically for weight loss. Those other ones are like diabetes treatments. This one is like straight up, yo, this is weight loss.
What does it do to you?
Same
side effects?
Side effects. You know what?
Those side effects are really bad.
You know what I realized today about the side effects?
What?
Is that, for some reason I never realized this, they break them up into sections of side effects.
I know.
They never say all of the side effects on the
because
commercials. This is what I'm saying. Because it's too many. There's like 25 side effects. So they'll say 5 in a row, and then they'll say blah, 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 blah. Side effects include blah, 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 blah. Side effects, like, what? These are all different side effects. And why are there so many? Yeah.
Some of them are not that big of a deal, but some of them kill you.
Yeah, they get worse, I think, as time goes
They're
by.
And you could die. At the very end.
Yeah, good job,
Insane.
Brett. That's 1 out of 4.
I know. That's better than last time.
Look at you.
Look at me go.
Look at you.
The show's the only reason I look at the news at all, so.
That's great.
Okay,
you got another story?
Yes. According to Fox 11 Los Angeles, a man in El Salvador wanted his wake to take place in a nightclub because, quote, he loved to party and he loved to dance. There is a video, and I feel like their intentions were mixed and confused because there are seats and mostly everyone is sitting and being quiet, and then like one lady is dancing to really loud music and looking at him in his open casket. And I'm like, if there were more people dancing, maybe this would be cool. But because everyone is watching, it kind of feels like a weird experimental theater piece with a real dead guy on stage. This reminded me of that guy that my parents knew through a friend who he wanted at his funeral. Basically, he loved a good time. They had tons of food per his request, but his wife didn't honor his last request, which was that he wanted to be sitting in a rocking chair, somehow like waving at everyone as they came in from the wake.
Awesome. That is so cool. That is so
she
cool.
was like, we can't do that.
Would you do that for me?
I would try my
Please
best to
tell me
figure it
that
out.
you would do that for me.
I feel like I would. Why not? We're all gonna die anyway. What's the worst
dead.
that can happen?
I'm already dead.
I mean, it would be wild for me to be like grieving and then like see your dead body and like
It would that's so awesome.
Insane.
That's such a cool thing to want.
You're so crazy. Okay, so So I really like this idea of a wake at a discotheque, as they call it, but I really wish more people had been dancing. Like, y'all dishonored him by not getting into it.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say that straight up everybody was...
Maybe they did at some point.
Well, here's my question.
You know?
That maybe you can't answer, but...
What?
Were the people sitting in the chair his friends?
There was a lot of people there, so I don't know.
I would hope that the regular club goers who knew him
Yeah.
would be dancing.
I would hope
and
so.
maybe these friends of his that
They
aren't
didn't
regular
know.
club goers are killing the vibe.
Maybe.
These people are trying to have a good time.
What I suspect is maybe it was like during this situation where like you were supposed to be seated and then they had like a dance at the end or something. Like maybe people were saying things and this lady was just a weirdo and just like
inappropriate.
having her own solo performance.
This
I
isn't
don't
the
know.
right time.
Like, nah. You need
You're way off.
sign up for the open mic later. Okay? We don't
That's
got
so
time
cool.
for this.
I wonder if she was dancing in front of the people seated or behind the people seated. Like
She
was
was
she closest to
it
the
was
casket?
actually so
or
all the
was she
seats
behind?
were kind of in a circle. Like,
Is there video of this?
Yes, I'll
Oh
show you.
my Lord.
No, she's dancing in front of the open casket, like, hey, doing a disco.
Dude.
But like, and everyone's kind of like looking around, like, oh, what's going on? Amazing.
It's amazing.
Can you imagine doing a solo dance? Like,
I mean, I can.
chill out though.
Um,
Do it later.
Booze makes people do wild
Yeah,
things.
well, maybe she was having a wild time.
Yeah, maybe she was already in. Okay, when we come back, that was a great story. I'm not going to be thinking about that. Okay, when we come back, something you might have always wanted to know about dining at restaurants, but were afraid to ask. And then, of course, we've got your no-class picks. Stay with us. Welcome back. Going out to eat is something we all do and have been doing for most of our lives, but that doesn't mean that we're doing it right, and it doesn't mean we know all there is to know about it. So to shed light on the deep mysteries of food service and to advocate for us, Morgan is here with our segment we call Clear the Plates.
Do we have a sound for this?
No, we don't have a sound.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
No, we don't.
Okay.
So
What you got for me?
The situation arose where you and I were at what I like to call an assembly line pizza place.
Right.
You wait and you tell the people what you want and they make it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
This woman comes back in, not in the line, holding a box. She's already gotten it. She's coming back. And she says to one of the people working there, she says, I wanted the vegan pizza with stuff added to it. This isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman working there says, well, you didn't ask for the vegan pizza. You asked for this. And it turns into this like fight, basically.
Yeah.
She says she wanted this. And the other person is like, you got what you asked for and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so the woman with the pizza says, finally, fine, just throw it away then.
Yeah.
And leaves.
And leaves. After paying for it.
After paying for it. And I'm like, who is right and who is wrong in that situation? So please.
Okay.
Obviously, she threw money away.
Yeah.
How could this
There's multiple
situation
things
have been avoided?
Going on here.
Okay.
The customer error was not reading the menu and labeling her pizza as something completely different. She kept saying, I ordered the vegan pizza and I added a couple items to it, but there is no pizza on the menu called the vegan pizza, so it's easy to see how they got confused. She was probably ordering the Veggie Delight, and side note, this is why you tip servers. It's our job to navigate these things. It happens many times every shift I work. People don't read the menu or they don't know what's on the items, and I make sure they're ordering something they want. This is also why servers have to memorize all of the ingredients and everything and how everything is made. And if you think you're not guilty of this, think again, my friends, and don't underestimate the power of a server's leading questions. Okay, so yes, this woman made a mistake, but ultimately, I have to place the blame on two people, kind of. The owners of this restaurant mostly, and her, but not for the reason you think.
Interesting.
Certain places, corporate/young
Employee places where young people work.
You have to lead them like they're a dum-dum and tell them what you want. You cannot assume they're going to know how to handle the situation correctly. So this is mostly the owner's fault because they didn't train their workers properly. If you own a restaurant, the cost of one pizza versus that customer coming back or not coming back and ordering many pizzas over the month is totally worth giving a customer with a complaint the item on the house or remaking it. It's ridiculous to not do this. But this owner of this restaurant has not made that clear to his young and dumb employees. So now this owner is going to lose out on a lot more money than they would have had they trained properly. Basically.
This is something that I think about a lot because that employee has no ownership in this this company.
They don't care.
And I'll admit, whatever, judge me, whatever. When I've worked at places, minimum wage type jobs,
sure,
I don't give a crap about anything.
Of course not.
It's not my money. If a customer says, hey, can I have that? Sure, you can have that. Hey, I don't want that. I won't give you that. Hey, whatever. I would throw it away and I would make it new because it's not my money. And what the heck do I care about this? And you're saying that that is the attitude to have because it's better actually for the company to be that way.
Well, what I'm saying is when you switch from servers to cashiers, they're not getting tips. So they're just working hourly, which makes total sense that they would not give a shit whether she comes back or not.
Right.
Because if that place goes under, they'll just get another job for the same amount of money.
Sure.
When you're a server, you care about retaining customers.
Because they're your customers.
Yes, because the more customers you have, the better you're going to do for that day, you know, or the month or whatever. So if a restaurant hires people that give a crap, they're going to make more money. And the people who are working for them are going to make more money.
So as the customer, I feel weird about giving things back.
Yeah.
I feel weird about, and I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people are, I guess what you would call shy. Even to this other, you know, person who's just an employee and you're paying them, you still feel weird. Like, I never send things back.
I know.
Never.
I've been trying to teach you.
So what should customers feel? What is their, like, rights as a customer.
Right. And so this is why it's a little bit on her. Like earlier I said, for the reason that you don't think.
Okay.
You have to fight for your rights. If you were ordering off Amazon and you got a totally, completely shitty product, you would return that.
It's true.
It's your money. It's your hard-earned dollars that you went to work for. So don't pay for things that are either the wrong product or a really horrible product.
Yeah.
End of story. And you shouldn't feel guilty about that.
Okay. So if it's wrong, it's not your problem. They need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if the restaurant's smart, they'll try to remake it for you, because if it's better to make 2 products for the price of one than just give you your money back for one product.
I see that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting little...
And also, it just makes the person happier. I mean, no one wants to leave without their food.
I mean, yeah, that's...
It's like a really bad feeling. I've done that before, and it makes me so angry, and then I'm like angry for hours.
I mean, it's a terrible
and I'll never
feeling.
go back.
And yeah, and why fight with the customer?
No.
Even if you know, I would just think, even if you know that what they're telling you is completely untrue.
Exactly.
And even if you know that they asked for something, which you tell me all the time.
Right.
They asked for something, or they tell you they asked for something, and you're like, no, you didn't ask for that.
No.
That's not what you asked for.
Yeah.
Just say, fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care.
I'll remake this.
Like, yeah, you need to let go of it.
Yeah. It's
like,
not...
it's not going to affect you.
It's not you.
Yeah.
But maybe young people don't.
I think there's this thing where they like want to be right about it.
And I think that's true. I think that's very true. I think they think it's a personal thing.
Exactly.
Like...
Like, yeah. So on the flip side, there are people that are fully insane. For example, people order things without rating. And I'm like, dude, unless you're deathly allergic, that's on you. But I never tell them that. They'll straight up look at me and tell me they didn't order an item. And I'm like, oh, what did you want? And they'll be like, the Greek omelet. And I'll be like, oh, that's great news, because that's what's in front of you. And they're like, no. There wasn't this olives on it. And I'll be like, oh, yes, there was.
There was.
Do you want no olives? Because we can take those off of there, or we can remake it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's fine. You know.
Yeah. But you
But
would.
as long as you act like, yeah, I would totally remake it for you.
Yeah. I am happy to do what you would like
That's
to
my
make
job.
you happy.
Like, I want you to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I can tell many, many stories about these types of situations, but I won't bore everyone.
Oh, I think it's super. Okay. Well, thanks. I feel better now.
Yeah.
I will send things back.
Yeah. So there's, the 2 parts that are going on. Like, customer service needs to be better. This is why most restaurant owners know that no matter how good the food is, service is more important.
Yeah. And that's why you're a G.
You're so
Serving
crazy.
forever.
I have been. So, yeah. But yeah, you have to stick up for yourself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking up for us, too.
No
Thanks
problem.
for giving us the power. All right. When we come back, it's that time. Your No Class Picks of the Week. Stay with us. It's time to wind down the show here, bring it to a close the only proper way with our No Class Picks of the Week.
You're just a jealous,
No class.
lazy bum.
No class pick.
Okay. My No Class pick this week. This is everything. I think this is like the epitome of no class to me right here. Okay.
What?
Lily and I are at a grocery store. It's in this weird shopping center that's on a slope. Like the whole thing kind of slopes. Like the door going in is flat, but the sidewalk around it, all of it is kind of on a slope.
Okay.
Okay, imagine this. We're walking out, and there's this woman in front of us pushing a shopping cart.
Okay.
She steps out the door. She pulls her thing out of the cart.
Her purse or something?
Yeah, her
Okay.
one bag of groceries that she's using a whole shopping cart for. That's
All
kind
right.
of your steez, right? Is like the single item in the full shopping cart.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I carry everything in my arms.
Only since you've been with me.
You're crazy. You don't know me at all.
So she takes her single item out of the shopping cart,
Okay.
continues to push it up this slope because there's a slope,
Okay.
removes her item, lets go, and then turns to walk away.
No.
What do you think is going to happen to this shopping cart?
Goes to you guys.
It's going to roll back.
It's rolling backwards.
And so it starts to roll back. And so since I guess the noise of this shopping cart moving backwards is not loud enough, I just say, the shopping cart is rolling.
Uh-huh.
The shopping cart is rolling. And she turns around and is like surprised
What?
that this is happening.
How old is this person?
She was 70s, easily.
Oh, maybe she's losing it.
I don't think so.
I know. I don't like giving people that excuse because, like, you shouldn't be driving if that's the case.
No, she was fine. She was totally fine. She moved quickly to go get that
Okay,
shopping cart.
good. Okay.
But yeah, still, just this absolute no responsibility. When I let go of this cart, it's no longer mine, and it's
insane.
the grocery store, and that the rules of gravity that I know exist don't exist, and so
Yeah.
this isn't my problem. It was just stunning to me.
That's
Stunning.
wild. What if it, like, ran into someone?
It would have run into someone.
And someone's like, I don't know, they have an injury or something already.
Granted, it was moving very slowly, and the slope is gradual, but it was
Okay.
obvious to me that it was going to roll down the
Still.
slope.
So rude.
Like, take control of the thing, put it in a stable location.
Yeah, I feel guilty even if I don't take it back to the thing. The carrot.
Yeah, the thing was literally just to the right of
my
it.
gosh.
She didn't want to take a couple extra
There's
steps.
a comedian that has a great bit about
this.
about people not returning carts. And he's like, so you walked around the store for 4 hours, but you can't like walk like a few more seconds to this return.
You know I'm terrible at that.
You are?
Yeah.
Man, we really don't shop together, I guess.
You know that. You know.
I've never seen you
Morgan-
leave a cart.
Morgan hates. She thinks that
I
I
would've
hate
been like,
shopping so much that she avoids going to me. She's like, "No, let's not go because you really hate the grocery store." I'm like, "I don't hate it any more than anybody else."
Trying to save you. I mean, you really seemed to hate it at the beginning of our relationship. You were
I
like,
did.
oh, God.
I think I was just unhappy, just
Oh,
in general,
great.
with life. And I think
After
that,
meeting the love of your life in the height of our, like, newness,
I don't know why that would be. I remember it.
you
though.
said you hated it. So I tried to, like, keep it from you.
Maybe I was just so happy with you that I just needed something to hate. And so I picked the grocery store. I don't hate it that much anymore.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Okay.
Okay.
What's yours?
I have a class pick this week.
Whoa.
It's super simple, but also really caught me off guard. Okay, so I've been at comedy shows and concerts in which I somehow end up behind someone super tall.
Worst.
It's forgivable because the super tall person can't help that they're super tall.
It's true.
I've also attended a comedy show where this man had the tallest messy bun I've ever seen. And then in conjunction with his human body height, it was literally directly in my face. I had to sway back and forth from right to left to see anything. So annoying. But recently we were at a concert where the woman in front of me had really tall hair. And immediately she turns around and goes, "If my hair is in your way, please let me know. I'll lean to the side." And I was like, oh my God, you gem of a human. I will never complain about your hair because you were so nice in simply giving a shit about someone seeing the show behind you. It was so classy.
Very
like
classy.
next level class move.
Yeah.
A class Care Bear out there. It really put me in the best mood because then I felt like we were in it together. And I wasn't just pissed and silently like cursing. It was so classy.
Yeah.
I did a class move back and gave her some free wine spritzers. So what goes around comes around, baby. There we go.
It's good. People
nice.
should do that. You're right. This is the epitome of class. It's
So
telling people,
nice.
I am aware that I may be an inconvenience to you.
There was this giant man from Canada that sat in front of my mom, and she's like fairly short
How do you know he was from Canada?
because he told us.
That was like he sat down and said, "Hello, everyone.
No, what happened was
I'm from Canada."
he was like, "I'm so sorry. Do you want to switch seats with me? I'm really tall." And we were like, "It's okay." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then my mom, of course, talked to him. She's like, "Where you from?" He's like, "Oh, Canada." We're like, "That makes sense."
Why? Because they're friendlier and politer there?
I have never met
Politer's not a word, is
man.
it?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. God, that's embarrassing.
You're so dumb.
But they're better people, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
They're classy.
Maybe, but I don't think so. But I think there's like this general energy around like, do. I'm looking out for you, too.
That's nice. That's nice. I am a firm believer, though, that seating in most environments should be based on height, and that tall people should sit in the back, because it ain't right. It just isn't.
I mean, yeah.
Like everything, you
sucks.
should be organized by height.
Or else they just should have everything on a much better incline.
Yeah, I mean, this is why stadium seating was invented.
Yeah.
But if you're in a concert and you're like me and you're only going to settle for floor seats, like you know what it's like for me at concerts?
It's rough.
Do you know how bad it is?
You get really angry.
God, I get so mad.
And then I'm like, we shouldn't have come.
All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks so much for being here and hanging with us. Like and or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. We're on all the apps. A reminder that all our new episodes are also put up on full video on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they are quality productions, if I do say so myself. Some people like to watch instead of listen. And we do it all for you guys. You don't even have to deal with these apps that, these people don't like to deal with these apps. So tell a friend about us. We appreciate you guys so much. Reach out to us everywhere. Instagram @thatsnoclass. You can also send us an email or a voicemail. thatsnoclass@gmail.com. Or call 877-7-NO-CLASS. Or as Morgan likes to say, 877-766. You were about to leave me hanging. You're about to leave me hanging. We sing it every time. That's our new thing. Clearly, I've established that we're going to sing this at the end of every show. You don't like this. You don't like
I
this.
like hearing you try to sing.
Dang, man. I'm like being like hung out to dry on this.
I just want to see what you're going to do.
God, man. You see, guys? What is this? Morgan's changing. We hit 50 episodes, and now she's like, I'm going to mess with you. Okay. Call us up. We love having your stories on the show.
Stay classy.
Stay classy, and have a great week.